somebody is most likely watching me from their window right now. And the most beautiful part about this is I'm in bird's eye view of the apartment I used to stay in. So imagine a little girl looking out her window in the bedroom I used to stay in, and she's seeing me recording my podcast and living out loud, unafraid, unapologetically. And it inspires her. And she's like, man, I looked at my window one day and I seen this woman out there recording her podcast, and it made me want to go start one. I felt like I had something to talk about. This is inspirational. This is a big moment. And I have to continue to remind myself of that because I grew up in survival mode in this very place. One of these places, I grew up in a couple different places, but this was where it first started. And growing up in survival mode, it will have you disassociate from a lot of your life. So where you don't even take things seriously, you don't clap for yourself, you just keep going with life. I graduated from college, y'all. Didn't even think I could get in college. Dropped out my first college, went to my second one, and graduated. And the adversity I was facing at that time in my life, especially because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my worth or my value. I had been in a relationship where I was blocked off from what was really out here. And the type of relationship that I was in was very unorthodox and morally incorrect. So my perspective on love and relationships and men was tainted on top of what I had already experienced coming up. So it shifted my view on how to show up within natural nature in the world amongst men, especially dating and being free and able to. That year of my life when I went to school, I had faced the most adversity I had ever faced on that level. And it really tore me down. It really made me stop trusting myself, stop believing in myself, and it made me disassociate from a lot of things. And I agreed to that because I couldn't lose sight of the shame and the guilt and the pain, the betrayal, and everything that took place in that season. That was what my mind was on, so much so that I didn't even take my graduation serious. Like, my family flew down to come see me. God had just blessed me with an apartment, and that's another story within itself, but it was a beautiful moment I was in. I didn't even go pick up my degree. I didn't even go pick it up. Still haven't picked it up to this day. And I am going to, because now I've recognized how important it is and that I should have never let adversity or anything in my life take me from that moment, because that was big for me. Big. I don't know anybody else in my family who's really graduated from college amongst my immediates. That was big for me. That was big for my impact on my siblings and on my family and on people who don't even know me yet. That was big for me, and I didn't take it serious. I walked across that stage with depression on me, even though I was smiling, even though I was celebrating, and I went home with a heavy heart. Then it took me going on this trip with my sister-in-law and my brother, and me and my sister-in-law was talking, and she was like, Jasmine, you the first to graduate college out of all of us. Like, we went and did not go back. What's wrong with you? Like, tap in. Where your mind at? It took her saying that, and I'm so thankful that God used her in that moment for me to recognize, whoa, I just broke something. I just did something major, and because of how much warfare I was going through, because of how much, like, I had battle fatigue, and because of how heavy that battle fatigue was and everything I had experienced, because of how much it was weighing heavy on me, I couldn't even see that I had broke something, that I was in my new already, standing, y'all, I was I was supposed to be homeless in the matter of 3 days. And God gave me an apartment. I didn't have to go through anything that is required for you to go through to get this apartment. Didn't even have all the money. He gave me the money within an hour, just based upon me sharing my truth. I was standing in the midst of answered prayers. I was standing in the midst of God shifting my perspective of how he operated and what he could do. Simply by me stepping out and honoring what he told me to. I was standing in that and couldn't even see, because all I could see was shame and the door that was closing and what wasn't working out. That's all I could see, so much so that I was losing sight and not even trying to turn my eyes to the fact that I was standing in the answer. Many of them. Take your eyes off that shame, that heartbreak, and that pain. It's going to build you. It's a blessing. Refrain from being so fixated and so focused on that to where you are not intentional about what you're standing in. And then you have to leave that place and look back and say, man, I could have handled that different, but I was so distracted by what God was settling. God already had that in his hands. He already had it covered. And my mind was so fixated and focused on what God said he had already done, what he had already fixed, what he was already shifting for me. My feelings being so deep in that, I couldn't even see that God was blessing me. I was standing in the blessing. Hey, God. I was standing in the blessing. Like, get your mind out the gutter and get your mind fixated and focused on the Most High, because God is moving forward. Don't stand in what's behind. When he's leading you higher, move forward and know that everything that took place in that season is going to reveal itself, and you'll gain clarity, and you'll also be able to apply the lesson from it to your life, to where you're gaining wisdom. God says wisdom is far more precious than gold. Baby, you're rich because you gain wisdom, and you have to also apply the wisdom, or what was the purpose and the point? Now you have to experience that again because you did not apply what God gave you. Now you find yourself in a cycle because you did not apply the wisdom that was given. A lot of us have been in environments that have suppressed us or caused us to feel as if what we doing is not good enough or not important or not that serious. And because we have been suppressed on such a high level, that gets planted into your subconscious mind, into your way of thinking, and then it transfers to your way of being because it penetrated your emotions. So when you walk outside, you automatically expecting for people to deny you because of what you experienced as a child. You're automatically expecting for things not to go right because of what took place as a child, and you haven't healed or forgiven or processed that fully, and it planted a seed in your mind that you began to water through your own thoughts, through your own stagnancy, through your own hesitation, that said, when I step out and do this, I'm going to be denied. And the first time you got negative feedback, or somebody didn't agree with you, or it didn't go the way that you thought, you took that experience as water to the seed in your subconscious mind that says when you step out, people are going to deny you. So there's no purpose and point in it because all you're going to experience is negativity from you stepping out. It just affirmed that seed. It watered that seed that was sown in you from a child. And that brings me to my opening statement. They have to infiltrate your heart first. Then they can have your mind. And from there, they can guide your actions. My question to you is, when did you lose sight of your voice? What is your soul? It's your mind, your will, and your emotions. If somebody that you have an emotional tie to speaks something into your life or does something that bothers you, it can stay with you for years. It's some stuff I had to forgive and let go of that happened when I was 8 years old. I'm about to be 27. It can stay with you for years. Infiltration has to start with your emotions first. And that's why you'll see a lot of the times, especially when it comes to campaigns and things that people are trying to sell or people are trying to get you to accept, they have to move your emotions. They have to find their way in emotionally. Hey, I love your hair. It's so beautiful. This little girl just walked past and she's like staring deep at me doing my thing, and she has the most beautiful afro and her skin is like divine, and this is just a beautiful moment for me because I know I just inspired her, so I'm happy. This is the place for me where it all started in my childhood. Uh-huh. Yes. This is called soul sifting. Uh-huh. Do you want me to write it down? Okay, let me get a pen. There you go. I wrote you a message. That's why it took so long. Oh, what's this for? Thank you. I'm gonna put this in the case and keep it. I'm not gonna spend it. Thank you. I'm gonna cry. Literally, I'm gonna cry. Thank you. Like, thank you, Jesus, because I came out here so many times. It was so frustrating because the video wasn't right and the things weren't right, and there's a time for everything, and I'm standing here at the right time, in the right mind, in the right place. And I'm so thankful that you let me here and that I came back home for such a time as this, because God was so frustrated. I didn't know why I was here. And I felt like I had left so much behind. I was like losing sight of things. And I'm standing in the place I'm supposed to be. Jesus. I'm so happy that I'm recording this, because I'm telling you, I be fighting my mind. You have to fight your mind when you have grown up in survival mode, because you would disassociate from everything to where you take nothing serious, and you'll just keep going with emotions and look back or see certain memories pop up like on Facebook or things people tell you, and it's like, I did that? That's what people think of me? I accomplished that? And you won't even know that you did. You get what I'm saying? That was just really, really special to me, for real. Like, I'm always gonna remember that. And she's skipping back over here, so I'm like, hurry up. I don't want her to see me crying. But I know at the end of the day, like, I do also want to show young women that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry, and it's okay to express yourself. So I don't have to wipe my tears all extra quick and not show that I'm crying. This is one of the places where I began suppressing myself. And I was oblivious that I even came into the agreement, but shame had infiltrated my heart. So I had my mind, and then I began acting it out. So I limited myself. This one particular day, Martin, mixed with a bit of my mama and my grandmama, rose up in me. My grandmother, she worked with children with special needs. I didn't find this out until later on in life. And I always had wished that I could be around her when I was older and I could ask questions and be incorporated in different things, right? But I'm thankful that through the memories I have and the stories that my family tell, I get to experience her, all that she was. And I also get to recognize how I'm like her. So she worked with special needs children. She was heavy in the church. She was a pillar in her community. She was in the stocks and a very wise woman. And the one thing that she stood by, that she taught my mom and my mom taught me, was that you should learn a new skill every year. My mom has always been an advocate within herself in everything that she does. We would drive past certain places, and if there was not a bench at the bus stop, she'll say, they need to get a bench at this bus stop. What if somebody elderly comes out here and they can't sit down? I've seen my mom cook for us and then cook for a whole different family and drop the food off at their door. There was this man that stayed in the neighborhood across from us. I don't even know how my mom came to speak to him, but she found out that his wife died and he was living in this house by himself, and it wasn't the best living conditions. His rock passed away. The person who was running the household, so a part of his peace went with her. So my mom would cook for him and drop stuff off at his door. We go bring him money. Like, she always has had a kind and caring heart. I've came from a divine lineage who uphold what God desires, who care for people, who stand for people. There was this one day where I was standing up for this boy. We were around the same ages. He was a little bit older than me, but we still were in the age range to where we could hang out with each other. It wasn't too far gone. And at the end of the day, it's all about mentality when it come down to it. So we had the go-to house in the neighborhood where, of course, it was somebody older, but we were allowed to all be in her house. And so we all were in her house. I was washing dishes and, just making sure the house was clean, because that was the role that I was assigned within my house because I was the oldest. So I always knew how to upkeep things. And that was my contribution and my expression of gratitude to people, especially if I couldn't give them money or I couldn't do anything else. It's like, well, here, let me clean for you because I appreciate you. So I'm in the kitchen cleaning, and we hear this knock on the door. Mind you, not even 5 to 10 minutes earlier, the boy that I'm talking about in this story came in the house, and he just sat down. So we knew something was off, but we didn't know what it was specifically. All of a sudden we hear this knock at the door. And this is not a regular knock. This is somebody mom who mad, it's the police, or somebody want to fight. It's that type of knock. So the owner of the house comes and she opens up the door. And the woman who's at the door, she's yelling and screaming and she's upset. And she wants to get at this boy. Apparently, they were outside playing with BB guns, and one of the pellets hit her. Now, I'm not sure of the full story, and I have learned that you should get the full story first before you just stand up for people's rights, because you don't know what took place, and you can be standing up for the wrong side or looking at things incorrectly, and things can be settled, and peace can come for both sides if you are able to look at both sides with empathy, okay, and correction. Correction is love. So she's coming in and she's upset about what took place outside. And the way that she is handling it, mind you, she's grown. More grown than all of us. The woman who owns the place and her are the same age. They both grown. Everybody else are children. So I proceed to step up because he doesn't want to come outside. He doesn't want to fight her. He's not trying to engage with this woman at all. So I step up and I say, this is ridiculous. Like, you are 3 times our age and you're at the door trying to fight this boy and he don't want to fight you. He was outside just as much as you were, and all of y'all were in agreement. All of y'all were playing, and you got hit with a pellet. The fact that you're trying to fight this boy and you grown and you can't sit here and just talk to him and correct him in a grown manner is ridiculous. You at the door with all these people behind you trying to fight this boy and he don't want to fight you. Go on about your way. It's basically what I said, and she did not like that at all. A couple of days went past and I kept hearing that this woman wanted to fight me. But of course she couldn't fight me. So she recruited people who could. I already knew off top they were going to jump me. So I was avoiding it best I could. On top of, if I get into a fight out here, all that's going to do is impact my household. I don't got time to be fighting you, especially over something that you should be grown enough to handle yourself. It shouldn't even have got this far. Now, I get maybe my tone was off. Maybe I spoke incorrectly. But that's when you take your grown self to my house and talk to my grown mama. Not try to fight me. Now, mind you, I had dodged this attack for a good 4 days. There came a day where I couldn't avoid it any longer. And mind you, I had been put my mama up on game. We was riding out the neighborhood one day, and I said, that's the lady who wanted to fight me. And she been trying to get other people to fight me. I heard that she recruited her cousins to come out here and fight me. They a little bit older than me, like about 4-5 years, but she trying to get at me. And my mom was like, that's a grown woman. So she had already been up on game as to what was going to take place. My mom has always been, and still is, a hard-working woman. Now, she's deeply in her feminine. Okay, perfumes on the counter. She loved her nails, her toes, bubble baths, silk robes. She's still very much in her feminine. Okay, but she does use that small portion of masculine energy to get things done. And she will not be moved until it's finished. We wouldn't see my mom a lot because she was working so hard, but when we would see her, she would wake us up out of our sleep to go to Walmart, get whatever we wanted. We coming home with princess TVs. Y'all know the Disney princess TV that came out? It was like this small square TV at Walmart. That was out of all the gifts she gave me, other than my flat iron when I got older, that was the gift I always will remember. That princess TV. She would wake us up out of our sleep to go shopping, to take us to get whatever we wanted. And the day that we looked forward to was always the day we would drive up to D.C. to get crabs. So the day came. Well, it was time for us to get some crab legs, right? We left the neighborhood, had an amazing day of vibe. We heading back home, and one of my friends from the neighborhood texted me, and she's like, hey, girl, I want to do some hair, just do girl things. And she invited me to her house. And she's like, let me know when you're on the way back in the neighborhood so I can start walking up to your house to get you. So I said, okay, cool. So 5 minutes before I pull up in the neighborhood, I text my homegirl, and I say, hey, we about to pull up. We 5 minutes away, and then you can start walking up to my house. So she's like, okay, bet, cool. I did not know that she was cool with the girls that were recruited to fight me. So, set up. Okay, so she set me up. We pull in the neighborhood, and it's like it's a block party. We're trying to pinpoint what's going on. We, as in the kids, me and my siblings, my mama already knew what was taking place. They was too close to our house. It was too many people gathering. Everybody was outside like it was a block party and somebody was cooking out. So as soon as we pulled up in the parking spot, my mom said, go in the house. All y'all, go in the house. So, of course, we went in the house, but we went in the house to the window to see what was taking place. Because what is about to go on, and why are you sending us in the house, but you staying outside? If we in this together, we in this together. Straight up. Okay, we gonna go to war. We all of us gonna be at war, not just you. So we looking out the window. I see my mom talking to these two women. In the midst of her talking to the two women, I couldn't even wait to see what was going to take place. I said, I have to go do something about this. I have to say something about this. Because at the end of the day, it's not that serious. A small thing turned into a war over miscommunication, over pride, over ego, over ignorance. So I said, in my mind, I'm like, all I got to do is go out here and talk to these people, and everybody going to be moved. We going to go on about our way. That's what I thought. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and follow Martin's lead in this moment. My mom, her brother, gave her his extra car, which was a blue Buick. One of them old school blue Buicks, which he later told me he had got a lot of women in that car. I was disgusted. Okay, how could you tell me that I used to ride in that back seat, sir? It was his sky blue Buick. I walk outside of our apartment. I walked to the front of the car, and I began to climb on top of it until I got to the roof. And I said, hey, everybody, listen, it's not even that serious. Everybody everybody calm down, and let's talk about it. We don't even got to do all this. In the midst of all this, I'm not even paying attention to the fact that one of the girls that had been recruited to fight me is walking towards me. She's walking towards the trunk of the vehicle. Okay, she's walking towards it. She proceeds. Mind you, all hell has broke out at this point, and that's why I couldn't see that she's walking towards me. My mom over here doing work because two girls and swung on her. She done ripped off her wig. She fighting. People yelling, screaming. The girl's walking towards me. Next thing I know, she is climbing up the trunk of this car. She grabbed my leg in the back of my head, hit the roof of the car, and I slid down off the trunk on the floor, and I got my behind handed to me in front of the whole hood. I got my behind handed to me. Handed to me, y'all. Okay? A beer bottle got thrown up in the air, hit my brother in the back of his head. We laugh about it now, but that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Especially because we were the children in the situation. The adults should have stood up. There was no reason it should have got that far. Ignorance. Ignorance. God says my people perish because of lack of knowledge. If y'all don't grow up, there's going to be a lot of wars, a lot of chaos, a lot of strife that's going to take place because people still acting like children. Children who weren't raised up in the ways of the Lord. Children who weren't raised up on wisdom. Children who weren't raised up on principle. Children who were not raised up to master thyself, to master their emotions. Because you have children who are operating in wisdom on a higher level than adults are. And they aren't listened to because they children. It should have never got that far. So it's funny now, but back then it was ridiculous. And it tainted a piece of me. It caused me to accept suppression because I was ashamed that I got beat up in front of the whole neighborhood with people laughing at me for weeks. And mind you, I didn't hide. I walked outside with my head high still every day. It is what it is. I did the right thing at the end of the day by standing up for somebody. And the wild part about it, the person I stood up for was out there laughing at me too. Still wasn't even mad at him. It is what it is. That was the beginning of me suppressing my voice. That played a major role in my confidence. Made me question if I was doing the right thing because of what came with it. I also want to add that what Martin represented was being aware of the traps that have been set for you. Use your voice. You don't have to use violence. Your voice can make somebody feel as if you put your hands on them, because you're speaking truth. You do not have to fit into the category they set for you to say that you're ignorant because all you know how to do is use your hands, because you don't know how to master your emotions or articulate yourself. And that's what Martin stood for. Now, I don't think Martin was going to let anybody just come up to him and try him or his family or put them in danger or harm's way and not stand up for himself. But I do feel he was highly aware of the times and the snares that were set for him, so he had to handle things differently. I also agree with Malcolm's approach to things too, because you have to stand up for yourself. It's called self-defense.
For clarity purposes, I must express that Malcolm was not an advocate for violence. He was an advocate for self-defense, same as Martin. Although their approaches were different, their goal was the same. Lastly, but certainly most importantly, Martin and Malcolm were not enemies. One thing that you must never lose sight of is that the opposing force will always attempt to cause strife or the illusion of strife, so that the leaders and the supporters of the leaders will not be able to come together as one in unity. They want it to be a thought, a dream, a hope, a desire, but something that never becomes tangible or reality. And that is the trick. You do not have to agree with everything somebody does. And just because you disagree does not mean they are your enemy.
There are many Martins and Malcolms standing in today's time. We don't have to choose one side. It's called balance. So the Martins, they need to get into the court system. They need to start suing and also teaching other people how to do the same. And the Malcolms, y'all are very aware when it pertains to the art of war. Those are the people who have knowledge when it pertains to artillery, when it pertains to survival and what it takes. Both can be combined. We just have to identify who is who and not be so quick to tell everybody about it. It starts in the very neighborhood that you are in. You might not be able to impact the entire world right now, and that is okay. There are times where God will hide you, and he will hide you so that you can be prepared, so that you can be equipped. Start in the neighborhood that you are currently in. Who are your neighbors? What do they stand for? What are their gifts? What are their talents? What do they believe? How do they operate? That's how you pinpoint who is who, and you get together. So that when all hell breaks loose, when certain events and catastrophes come up, you'll know who to collaborate with. In the Bible, there was a famine that came. And although the famine came, the famine didn't touch them because they prepared different. Before the famine even showed up, they were able to prepare, to equip themselves, to store up food, to know who their neighbors were, to collaborate so that the famine wouldn't even impact them. This is the time. So Martins and Malcolms, stand up. Go outside, connect with your people. And if you see somebody who's not of peace, if you see somebody who's of strife, if you see somebody who is jealous, pray for them, speak well wishes over them, and keep it pushing. And work with the people who are in collaboration, because what is taking place on this earth currently, God is cleaning house. Get your house in order. That's not just your house solely, and it's not just your physical house. It is your spiritual house, and it is your community. Your children too. We need to cut out of our vocabulary when you get older. No, you can know this right now. I had this past experience, and he used to always say, why would you talk to a baby in baby talk? These are not babies. Censor some things, yes, but speak to them with sense. Speak to them with wisdom. Don't just feed them baby stuff. Raise them up. Or they'll step out ignorant because they've been on baby food when it's time for them to eat meat. When it's time for them to eat differently. It's time for them to eat spiritually. This is not just an accessory or a doll. or something to help you fulfill your void of love. It's a whole human, a whole disciple, a whole prophet, a whole evangelist. As 19 Keys would say, an entire economy just came through you and your husband, because who you sleep with, you married to. That's why you need to close down the shop and cleanse. And the next person that you sleep with needs to be the one that you are in a commitment with. That means it takes time, and they don't need to be touching you until the commitment is solidified under God, the Most High. Make sure their attributes and their character line up with the Most High. Every moment that you spend with your person, you should feel God. It should be a reflection of God. You should express gratitude, even in the frustration, because of how it is handled. Come on. And yeah, there will be kinks. There will be things you have to work out. The process to which y'all take to work that out will reveal where God's hand is, what foundation y'all stand on. And sometimes you got to dig that whole foundation up and do it over, because it has not been set on anything solid. It's not set on the principles of the Most High. It's not divine. Because of what you've been taught, because of what you've been through, because of the mind state that you took on to protect you. And it's a false sense of protection and false sense of security. So I got my behind handed to me, and it impacted me on top of other experiences I had with violation and not knowing how to use my voice to say no. And so I got somebody touching me that I don't want touching me, and I'm laughing about it just to lighten up the moment. And they're not taking me seriously because I'm not in a serious stance. And yes, they should have common sense and emotional intelligence, as well as spiritual awareness, to know this not cool. She's not really okay with this, even though she's giggling about it. Teach your sons how to be aware of themselves and how to be aware of women and what certain mannerisms mean, so that they can use their critical thinking skills as well as emotional intelligence, and they can push down that lust and that hypersexuality that will cause them to operate outside divinity and get themselves in a situation so where now they locked up over miscommunication and lack of knowledge. Teach your daughters to stand firm on their boundaries. Teach them so that when they get in, and also teach them awareness and natural nature, so that they will not put themselves in compromising situations, so that they will refrain from placing themselves in harm's way, because they know how valuable they are. Teach them emotional maturity and how to express themselves, how to articulate themselves, so that they won't just laugh things off. They'll stand firm. I got in many situations trying to pinpoint what life was, what my emotions meant, and what I wanted. I got in many situations that affirmed to me that I should stop talking, that I should stop standing, that I should stop being me, because being me meant that I should be violated, that I should be betrayed. I equated my authenticity with danger, because I did not have the right knowledge to cover myself, to conquer myself, to critically think before I place myself in certain environments. I didn't have the awareness. And I started to disassociate so much so that I didn't apply the wisdom I was learning. So I continued to get in cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle. And that can break you down to the point where you'll lose your heart. Or not lose it, but you won't honor it. You'll push it to the side and think that you just have to be rude. You have to be hard-bodied to protect yourself, when really it's limiting yourself the most, because you're graceful. You're the definition of humility. You're the definition of love. You are the definition of peace. That's who God created you to be. But he said, guard your heart above all else. He didn't say that you had to change your authenticity or you had to stop honoring divinity in you. He said you had to guard yourself, set boundaries and standards, and know why you're setting them, so that you're unwilling to compromise, so that you can continue to be you. God will use everything for your evolution. He will use everything to benefit you in evolving, Take the wisdom from the trauma. Take the wisdom from the pain. Take the wisdom from the heartbreak. Apply it. Sift through it. If you continue to run from the pain, you will run from the wisdom in the lesson because you don't want to feel what that comes with. You have to let your heart break. It's not an easy experience. It's not an easy process, but it's going to help you evolve. You won't be the same. You won't accept the same. You won't stand the same. You won't move the same. You'll come up to a higher position because you've gained wisdom and insight. You've gained the knowledge of God because you've grasped what He's trying to teach you. You're not running from the pain of it as if He can't carry you, as if He can't cover you, as if He's not near the brokenhearted, as if He won't send people to support you who have been through what you have been through, that can give you wisdom and insight and support, that can cover you in prayer and well wishes and affirmations. Embrace what comes with this journey. It will help you. It's not a hindrance. God says in Jeremiah 29:11, I have plans to prosper you, not harm you. Everything that's taking place is for you to gain prosperity. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, tangibly. Prosperity is your birthright. But you cannot avoid the pain. You cannot avoid the adversity. It is there to train you, to equip you, to call you up higher. It's not easy, baby. It's not easy. And it's okay. Stand in your truth. Give yourself grace. Forgive yourself. Learn to trust you again by setting small commitments. As small as I'm going to get up and take a 30-minute walk each day. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock each morning or 7 o'clock each morning. I'm going to write an hour out the day from my book. Whatever it is, commit to it and give yourself grace on the days where you fall short. But you have to learn to trust yourself again, or you're going to continue to deny God because you don't trust yourself to carry out your assignment because of all that has taken place and because of what you're disassociating from. You're capable and you're worthy. And you've been called for such a time as this. I've ran from my calling for a while because of what other people would think, because I didn't feel worthy, because of fear and things of that nature. And I'm finally at the place in my life where I'm unapologetic and unafraid because I know it's authentic to me. This is who God has called me to be. This is what He's called me to do. I've had many situations in my life that felt as if they overtook me, like I wasn't going to make it out. I could have died right there. I could have lost my mind. And God kept me in peace when I should have lost it all. And I applied the wisdom and held myself accountable, although it hurt me. And in that, I became new. This is a process and a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to trust this process and lean into adversity and know that God has you and you're more than capable. He has not called you and not prepared a place for you. He has not called you so that you can fail. Victory's guaranteed. But you have to stand in the midst of adversity and claim it with your head high and with an attitude behind it too. This is divinity. Stand in it. It's your birthright. Prosperity is your birthright. Peace is your birthright. A sound mind, power, and love is your birthright. It was guaranteed to you. Take it up and stand in what God is calling you to do. Speak on it. May be embarrassing. You may have shame behind it or guilt. Speak on it. The more that you speak on it, the more that you stand in confidence in what God has called you to. Shame, fear, all that's going to have to leave you because you're no longer creating space for it to lay its head. You are free already. Who the Son sets free is free indeed. You are free. Speak it over your life. There are things you will experience that are set before you to water the seeds of inadequacy, to water the seeds of insecurity, to water the seeds of confusion, to water the seeds of that cycle to keep you in delay and stagnancy and depression and shame. There will be experiences that are offering you an opportunity to water those seeds. But in those experiences, based upon you operating in it differently, based upon you paying attention and identifying what continues to come up against you, what you continue to fall short in, based upon you identifying that and shifting your way of being, there is an opportunity for you to water the seeds of you evolving. For you to water the seeds of confidence, for you to water the seeds of joy, for you to water the seeds of peace, for you to water the seeds of long suffering, endurance. And that's why you have to express gratitude for the adversity that you are facing, because in that you will gain endurance and perseverance. You have an opportunity here to either water the seeds of negativity, to water the seeds of your detriment and hindrance towards you, or to water the seeds of divinity, to water the seeds of evolution, to water the seeds of peace, to water the seeds of joy, to water the seeds of growth. What do you want to water? It's up to you. All of this is a choice. And yes, your choice is being swayed by past experiences, but it is completely up to you to sift through those experiences. Glean, which is the process of going to the place that was already harvested and looking through what's left over. Just because the fruit isn't aesthetically appeasing, just because it wasn't the best situation, does not mean you can't gain from it. Go back in your past. Go back home. Go back and sift through that experience and take the wisdom from it so that you can apply it to your growth. Deal with that pain. Journal about it. Go on a walk. Pray about it. Speak life over yourself. Give yourself grace and forgive you. You didn't have what you needed to be aware of that. You didn't have what you needed to place yourself in better situations when you got out of that. You didn't have what you needed. You had to learn. You are aware now, and the choice is up to you. I know you felt like you didn't have a choice, so you just went with things. Because you were so used to your choice being taken from you. You have a choice now. You always have had one. Claim it. Use your freedom. Who the Son sets free is free indeed. Use your freedom. Use your God-given authority. Use it and make a choice to do something different, to apply the wisdom and evolve. It's your time. You was born for such a time as this. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated that these are the things that should be within your life's blueprint. A deep belief in your own dignity, worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't let anybody make you accept that you're a nobody. Always know you have worth and that your life has ultimate significance. Don't be ashamed of your color, your background, or your heritage. You must uphold the determination to achieve excellence in everything you do. Carry and embody the spirit of excellence. When you discover what your life's work will be or what you're striving for, set out to do it and do it well. You might not know what your purpose is. Focus on the assignment. If you feel the urge to go back to school, honor that. Pray on it. Ask God to give you provision and provide the way. I didn't have the money I needed to get in school. I said, God, I know in my spirit, because I feel it, you are calling me to go to this school, the last school I graduated from. I know you calling me to this place. They saying I need $300 that I do not have. And because you called me to this place, I know you've already provided for me. Do you know the very next day I went to sleep in peace that night? It was what it was. I didn't stress about it. Do you know that somebody called me the next day from the financial aid department and my case had been assigned to somebody else? And they told me that I didn't owe them $1. They actually owed me a check back. God's going to move heaven and earth for you. Send up your request. Let him know what you need and keep it pushing. And declare and decree it's already done. And remind yourself of who God is. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. Jehovah Sabaoth, you stand in position for me. I don't have to take vengeance into my own hands. Jehovah Shalom, I have perfect peace. Do your research. Look up God's names. Call upon him. Speak it. It's going to be, he said, you speak to the mountain and tell it to move. There's the power of life and death is in your tongue. Speak it, and it shall be. I didn't owe them no money. They owed me money. Dr. Martin Luther King stated, doors of opportunity are open to each of you that were not open to those that came before you. And the great challenge facing you will be to enter those doors when they open for you. Let no fear hold you back. You do not have to get rid of fear before you move forward. Let it come with you and use it as a fueling fire. The more that you honor what God has called you to, the less space fear will have. So it will have no option other than to let go of you. That is the same for the people, for the places, for the things that have been attached to you, taking up space and keeping you from standing in what God is calling you to. Start to honor the vision, honor the dream, honor the principles that God has set for you. Honor your spirit. The more that you do that and you make space for your gifts, you make space for the vision, you make space for what God is calling you to, is the less space there will be for what has been hindering you. It's going to have no choice but to cut you off, and you have to keep your mind fixated and focused on the fact that moving forward is where you are supposed to be, so that you won't get upset when people, places, and things start cutting themselves off. It's your time. Your destiny helpers are waiting for you. Your community is waiting for you. Your purpose, stand in it. It is you. Your gifts will make room for you. They will bring you many opportunities, but you have to make room for them. It's reciprocity. Pour into them and they will pour into you. Your gift can be speaking. Your gift can be cooking. Your gift can be parenting. Your gift can be organization. You have a gift. Don't think it has to look like everybody else's. Identify what yours is. That thing that people are constantly like, wow, how do you do that? That is so cool. I could never. That's beautiful. You did what? That. The thing that people are saying, oh, that's not possible. Come on now, that sounds crazy. You sure about that? That. Pick up your mat and walk. Dr. King said, if you excel in what you do, the world will find its way to your door. You don't have to go looking for nobody or nothing. You don't even have to go looking for the resources. Use what you currently have and put it out, and know that everything that you need will find its way to you. And this is not me saying, don't go look for the apartment, don't go look for the building, don't go look for the grant opportunities. I'm saying don't stress over it. When you get those no's, don't stress about it. Express gratitude, because that means God's going to exceed your expectation. You were applying for a $5,000 grant and God's about to give you a $50,000 one. Be happy they said no. You were about to apply for that building that had plumbing issues and God's going to give you a brand new building for half the price with no issues. Express gratitude for the no's and give it to God. Go to bed in peace. Dr. King goes on to say, burn the midnight oil. A Proverbs 31 woman, her lamp does not go out at night. She is up preparing for her day to come. That applies to men too. She's up preparing. She's up ensuring everything is set in place for her next day, so that she doesn't have to wake up and say, oh, what am I wearing? That's out. Burn the midnight oil. Study with deep intent. And don't give up because of intolerable conditions. Adversity will always come. It's an opportunity. When you pinpoint what to do, set out to do it as if God Almighty handpicked you for such a time as this. Don't just do enough based upon the category you've been placed in, or to just get by. Excel in all you do. Let no one limit you. Just because they say the score has to be a 70 doesn't mean you strive for a 70. You strive for a 90 and above. Just because of your ethnicity, they say this is all you can do, you strive to be above that. You do not settle for bare minimum based upon what the world said is available to you. This is God's world. God will move the heavens and the earth for you. He commands the universe to move on your behalf. That's why you should be going directly to the plug and not the middleman. You have direct access to God, and yet you saying, dear universe. When you send your requests up to the heavenly realms, when you send your request up to the Most High, He directs the universe to move for you. Why would you have direct access to the plug and you are speaking to the middleman? You are going through the middleman. Absolutely not. You command the middleman to move how you desire for it to, because you are connected to the plug. The middleman moves based upon your command, because of who you come from, because of who you connected to. You are of a divine lineage. All of heaven knows your name, in hell too. That's why there's so much adversity coming up against you. Do you not know who you are? Come on. You are mighty. Set out to do your job so well that the dead, unliving, and unborn couldn't do it any better. If you limit yourself, you'll limit the doors open to you. If it becomes your luck to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause to say, here lived the great sweet sweeper who swept his job well. You must have a commitment to the internal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Don't allow anybody to pull you so low as to cause you to lose your self-respect to the point where you don't struggle for justice. The definition of struggle is to make forceful or violent efforts to get free of restraint or constriction, to proceed with difficulty or great effort. Dr. King said we must not give ourselves to things that don't solve our problems. You don't have to struggle for long when you are moving towards the solution. You struggle for a long time when you're continuing to operate in a cycle that's working against the solution. Identify the problem. The one that's working in you. What are you in agreement with that is keeping you bound? Check your coping mechanisms. Do you run to a bottle or a blunt or company? A bar or a club, or the TV being loud and there being a lot of noise in your house so you can drown out your thoughts when problems come up? Or do you sit in solitude and deal with them head on and give yourself grace throughout the process? Do you remain sober-minded and vigilant? Do you get into the word of God to declare and decree and to protect yourself with psalms? Do you get up and command the atmosphere to move on your behalf? What are your coping mechanisms? Lastly, for everyone listening, however young you are, you have a responsibility to seek to make the nation a better nation to live and to make life better for everyone. So you must be involved in the struggle for freedom and justice. You're not too young to speak. You're not too young to stand. You're not too young to learn. You're not too young to listen. You have power. There is power in your voice. There's power in your story. There's power in your movement. Be wise in receiving direction from your elders. They are not lying to you or leading you in the wrong way. And even though there will be people that you do not respect because of their actions and the effects of their calls, it does not mean you cannot gain wisdom or insight from what they are saying. You can study the effects of their life to see how you should live yours. And that does not mean judge them harshly to where you feel as if they're too far gone. Their lives can change at any time. But the advice that people are giving you is for you to take into consideration. You do not have to apply it if it does not apply. But if you dismiss it completely and don't listen at all, you may miss something that can change your life. Use your discernment and know that you have a choice. It is up to you. But do not stand in pride. I started to feel like I had failed when I came back to my mom's house. I was just in a high-rise condo overlooking the city, so high up that I could feel a breeze. Then I found myself on my mom's couch and I said, how did I get to this place? And am I even supposed to be here? I started to feel like I had failed. And I was being extremely hard on myself and guilt was eating me alive. I was depressed. I didn't find myself agreeing with depression solely because I was on my mom's couch. I felt the heaviness and the shame and the pain of what I had just experienced. And I needed the time to sift through that. When you're in a constant state of movement, it's difficult to find the time to sift through your mind, to sift through your will, to sift through your emotions, to pinpoint how you even got to the position that you are standing in or laying in within my situation. The more that I got out of self-pity and I took the time to reflect, to hold myself accountable for the things I had agreed to within my past season, to be kind to myself and give myself grace, because a lot of this life I was raising myself. My mom could only teach me what she knew. And past that, I had to go out and gain wisdom on my own. On top of fighting false beliefs and ideologies, my feelings and pride, ego, there was so much I had to tear down. And the more that I surrendered to the process, the more that I trusted God, the more that I embraced the love that I was around, I started to see things differently. I got out of the circumstantial evidence and got into the spiritual evidence that this was just what I needed. Returning home isn't always pretty. It's not always our first option. And the principalities and the strongholds and the things that show up when you get there will make you want to run. I was so frustrated by being back at my mom's house that I got to a point where I was about to move sporadically. And man, am I so glad that it did not work out. I'm so thankful doors were closed. I'm so thankful rejection took place. I'm so thankful. Because if I would have moved within my own timing, I would have missed God. I would have missed divinity. I would have missed divine alignment. Returning home will give you the realest reflection of yourself. There were parts of me that I lost sight of. There were parts of me I suppressed. There were parts of me I compromised in order to appease others. I forgot who I was and what I came from. And it's so easy to get caught up in trauma to where you completely disregard the fact that you come from a good family. You come from love. It may have been chaotic and dysfunctional. Yes, everybody was growing and trying to figure things out as they went. But you came from love. You came from consideration. You came from sacrifice. And that's beautiful. You came from hard work. Your family is relentless in their pursuit of greatness despite the circumstances, despite the adversity, despite the pain. One thing my mom taught me, and not solely through her words, but through me watching her, was to never lose my heart. The world can be mean. It can be cruel. As people say, life be lifing. But don't lose sight of you. Don't change your heart to conform to the pain. Guard your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. People are going to do what people do. It's human nature. You've operated in a derogatory manner. Many of us have. Due to pain, due to heartbreak, due to violation, betrayal, wrong teaching, offense. It's human nature. We're not going to get it right all the time. She taught me to never lose my heart in the midst of it. And I'm forever grateful for that. Returning home is vital for you to build a new one. Returning home shows you what foundation you're standing on, what foundation you came from, and what foundation needs to remain. Returning home will remind you of all that you are, beneficial and detrimental. I needed this, and I didn't know that I did until I surrendered to being, until I surrendered to the process that God was taking me through, which was necessary for my development. It's necessary for where I'm going. It's necessary for my healing. God has a lot of us returning home. And the circumstances may be uncomfortable. I've slept on the couch and the floor. But I had joy. Still have it. Always do. It's something you can't lose sight of when you begin to surrender to what's taking place within you. You're changing. You're shifting. You are evolving. It's all a part of the plan. And your circumstances might not match where you think you're supposed to be, but you are not in the wrong place. You may be in the wrong posture, though. So check yourself and your feelings. Don't let them overtake you or make you feel as if this is to hurt you. It's to benefit you. It's to push you. It's to remind you of your truth. So take it in. Breathe out. Just be. It's all a part of playing. Home is where the heart is. So you have to travel. And even if you don't travel there physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, travel back to where it all started so that you can gain insight, so that you can gain clarity and awareness, so that you can change the narrative, so that you can shift your story. Some of the ways to which you are operating was only supposed to be a page in your story. A chapter, and you've been making it most of the book. It's time to shift. But in order for you to shift in the right direction, you must reflect. And reflection takes time. So bask in it. There is no need to rush because you will find yourself rushing to your next destination unprepared and unequipped. Taking things with you that don't need to be there. I don't know who I was watching And if their names pop back up, I'll tag them. But I was watching the video, and this woman was saying, you trying to take all these things with you that should not be. And you mixing the old things into the new cement for you to lay your solid foundation. Why are you putting that in your foundation to which you have to live on, to which you have to stand on, to which you have to build on? That should not be in the blueprint. Why are you mixing that into your cement? I think it was Shantiadajah. I think it was her. I'm going to watch that video back. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I'm going to tag it. Why are you taking that with you? I was reflecting earlier today. There was this person from my past that I still held mixed feelings for. And I felt like I had forgave them and I had let things go. But each time their face or memory or their name would pop up, I would feel a shift in my emotions. So I knew I hadn't released it fully. And there are some times within your healing journey where you'll try to make yourself think that you haven't forgave, and you have. And you have to remind yourself that you've let it go. You will only know what the truth is by analyzing yourself. I knew I hadn't let it go fully, and that it wasn't me trying to condemn myself, because it had too much control of my emotions. I was too moved by it, by the thoughts of that person, by the thought of even having to reflect when it pertained to them. And so God asked me, what are the attributes of this person? Name them. And so I'm going down the list of the attributes of this person, beneficial and detrimental. And I'm bouncing between both sides. And I'm like, yeah, they were this, and that was beautiful, and I'm thankful. But they also were this, and that was manipulative, and that was this, and it wasn't beneficial, it wasn't positive, it was condescending. And I'm going back and forth. And I said, God, what is the purpose of this? Why did you ask me to do that? And God said, I wanted you to see that the betrayal was warranted. They showed you both sides. They showed you how they operated. But if you rush, if you don't take your time to allow things to play out, to truly court, not rush into whatever you think it's supposed to be, you will lose sight of what that person comes with. And you'll go off your own idea. I looked up the definition of warranted, and I'm going to read it to you because I was like, wait, hold on. The definition of warranted is having been given official authority to do something or done with official permission. In short, it's a guarantee. Jehovah Jireh is a provider, and he will give you the wisdom necessary for you to evolve. Ask and you shall receive. As you are reflecting, ask the questions. Analyze yourself, especially your feelings. God's going to speak to you on it. The Holy Spirit's going to come through and guide you in the right direction, because there is wisdom and insight far beyond carnal knowledge that you can gain by tapping in spiritually. God began to speak about how important it is to take your time. We so busy rushing and falling in love with the idea or the projected potential of a thing that we don't take time to get to know it within duality on both sides of how it operates. We don't experience the ebbs and the flows of what comes with that person. So we rush, and we're taught to rush and to hurry and make a decision. Time is vital when it pertains to discernment. You have to use your critical thinking skills on top of spiritual discernment, which means you need to be having conversations with the Most High, asking questions about this person that you are getting to know, because God judges by the heart, not by carnality to which we judge. Everything can line up with that person, every box be checked, and God say, something in your spirit just don't feel right. God judges by the heart. Time reveals all things, and that's why time must be taken. Do not rush, and don't allow anybody refrain, I should say, because you have the choice whether to allow it or not. Refrain from allowing people to rush you into making a decision, especially when it pertains to decisions that will shift your life. You committing to a relationship will shift your life. It will shift your day by day. It will shift you internally and externally. That's a major decision you are making. Take your time. Don't allow anyone to push you to compromise on you taking that time. Love is not possession. Love is not rushing. Love is not infiltration. Love is not confusion. Love is not compromising in a way that is detrimental to your evolution. That is not love. That is hate and self-hate, if you agree to it. God said it is important to take your time, and there's a time for everything. There's a season for all things. So if I'm taking my time within each season, just as I took my time to create all things, to speak life over all things, why do you think you should rush? Why do you think it will be quick to reveal itself? There are many things you have to sift through. Negative thinking patterns, false teachings, subconscious programming. Invite God into that process. If you do not invite God into your space, especially when it pertains to relationships, you will be laying next to somebody who you would then wake up and say is your enemy. And that could be years down the line. And you can continue to call them your enemy and recognize that they work against your destiny, that they work against what God has foreordained for you to do. And you'll still get in the bed with them, all while fresh off a phone call to which you named every detail of how they are your enemy. And you still allow them to enter into your universe. You still allow them to plant seeds in your mind. You still allowed them in your space. And to have a piece of your soul, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you move, while confessing they are against you. Time is necessary. It is vital. It is mandatory. Going through certain experiences with that party is necessary because you must see how they operate. You must be aware of both sides of them. We have to take out the illusion that things will be perfect, or like a movie, a fairy tale, I should say. It will not be that. The definition of a fairy tale is a fabricated story, especially one intended to deceive. The definition of fabricate is invent or concoct, typically with deceitful intent. You must take into consideration all things. The possibilities. Character and qualities are two different things. Just because someone displays the quality of something does not mean they have the character. Because when the situation arises, those qualities go out the window and they operate as the exact opposite of what they state they are. Awareness is key, and not for the sake of condemnation. You need to know how that person operates. Because from there, you will be able to analyze how they will show up within certain situations. Situational awareness is necessary. The issue is we have been taught perfectionism. And most people live their lives in a burnt out state because they are trying to reach a state that is not possible in this earthly realm. We are not meant to be perfect. That person is going to make mistakes. They are going to be imperfect. They're going to get it wrong sometimes. They are going to fall short. That is guaranteed. And the way that everyone shows up will be different, which is why you must take your time and not operate out of desperation or lack thinking to where you would try to fix something or make it be what you desire for it to when it is not that. And that does not mean you cannot show it grace. That does not mean you cannot wish it well. That does not mean it doesn't deserve love or your empathy. It just means you cannot force it or mold it to be what you desire because it makes sense. It has to actually be that and want to be that. And this brings me to a point. I was watching a video Again, unsure of what video it is, but it'll come up to me. And when it does, I will share it. So make sure you look in the description box. I was watching a video, and in this video, the person speaking was stating that it is only behavior. It was Tiphani Montgomery. She said that it is behavior modification when a person changes for you. It will only be a matter of time before they shift back to how they originally operated, because they changed their behavior for you. They didn't actually change to their core. You have to change for God. That has to be your desire. Changing because you know you are better. Changing because you know God is calling you to a higher state of being, because that is who he has foreordained for you to be. You're changing for God, to align with divinity, to align at the highest state of being for God, for a God purpose, not simply for a person. Because if it is only for that person, you would change many times for many people, and you will only change your behavior. I was having a conversation with my mom this morning, and I was like, man, my past relationship, it made me question who I was as a woman and who I desired to be as a woman. It made me want to change. And originally, I wanted to change for him because I wanted things to work. But the deeper that I went on that journey, the more I surrendered to the process of healing, the more that I honored what God was telling me, where he was taking me, and I let go, the more I recognized it wasn't about changing for him. It was about changing for me. It was about honoring where God was taking me. It was about shifting myself into alignment with who God needed me to be. It was necessary for me to become this woman. I didn't change for nobody else. That means my healing is not dependent upon somebody else. That means my happiness is not dependent upon somebody else. That means my peace is not dependent upon somebody else. I didn't do it for them. Will it impact the people around me? Yes. But my emotions will not be shifted, nor will I be overtaken depending upon how they move. Because my foundation is not set upon them. It's set upon the Most High, his principles and his ways. So I'm operating in a way that will keep me grounded. Nothing that I do, no way that I operate, nothing that I am is dependent upon another human. So God told me straight up, the betrayal was warranted. But you did not take your time and sit in awareness, nor did you consult with me. Nor did you receive my counsel. You kept denying my warnings. You didn't take heed to the many signs I sent you based upon your own understanding. So you could not see how they were operating because you were in agreement with illusion, which meant the betrayal was warranted. Take your time. Seek right counsel through the Most High. Ask him to reveal to you mentors, spiritual leaders, therapists, and things of that nature so that you can dive deeper on your journey of healing. God's not against therapy. He's against idolatry. So if you go into your therapist or your friends or the mentor prior to you sitting down in solitude to take heed to what God wants to tell you, that's when it becomes an issue. Time is necessary, and it will reveal all things. So embrace the time. Embrace the solitude. Embrace the heartbreak and sift through all the pain, because it is necessary for you to grow, for you to evolve, for you to be, for you to show back up in the world as a version of you that you were always meant to be. You won't compromise or sacrifice your integrity, your peace, your joy, your love, or your heart, because you've gained a new one. You've gained new insight, and you have been made new, embracing it fully. My name is Jasmine El Sali, which means I'm a gift from God, and God is my rock and my foundation. It has been a blessing to serve you, to pour into you today, to give you newfound wisdom and insight based upon what God has revealed to me through my experiences in life. And I look forward to continuing to share these moments with you as we sift through our soul, our mind, will, and emotions to shift our perspectives and create change, not only for us, for those who will come after us and those who have came before, who still stand in this place. I wish you well. I'm sending you nothing but love. And I pray, as always, you are leaving way better than you came. And I will see you in our next exhortation. If you find yourself in a place where you are ready to commit to evolving fully and dive deeper spiritually. It is as simple as getting into solitude, which means getting to a quiet space where there is just you and God. Express to God that you are ready to accept Jesus Christ as the lead of your life. Jesus being the Lord and Savior of your life simply means he is the lead of your life. So you are following in the footsteps that he left behind, as he is your ancestor. He came before you to lead your way, even while he was gone, through the things that he did while he was here. Walking in the ways of Christ is not religion. Jesus challenged the church. He challenged their way of thinking and their way of being, and he called them out when they were not operating in the way that the Most High intended. It is a posture. So when you walk out in your day, you walk out in righteousness, you walk out in peace, you walk out with joy, you walk out with empathy, but you also walk out with discernment. You guard your heart. You are not easily accessible or overtaken or convinced to turn, because you know who you are and who you stand with, who you are backed by. You are confident, brave, courageous, bold. This is what Jesus represented. As you are in solitude, express that you are ready to be led. It is also vital, very important, the most important, that you make it known that you believe in the sacrifice God made through his son. Express gratitude as well. His son sacrificed his life. He laid his life down to lay out steps for you to follow, so that you can walk within this world within righteousness and boldness, regardless of what adversity you would face. It's important that you say, God, I believe in your sacrifice of your son, Jesus, and I am ready to commit fully. And if you find yourself in a place, same as I was, where you're questioning, you're unsure of who God is or how he operates, and you don't know if you believe in Jesus. You don't know if you even want to, because you have heard so many things and because of what has taken place in your life or whatever the case is for you. Express that and ask God to give you a supernatural experience that will reveal who he is, who his son is, how he operates, and what your purpose is within this place. There is a purpose attached to you in every assignment that you will be given. You are highly valuable, very important, and God does not mind taking his time on you. You are worth the wait and the investment. His love endures forever. He won't give up on you. He's the best accountability partner, friend, father, love. He's the best at that. And I can tell you because I'm living it. Be honest with him. He does not require you to lie, to fake the funk, or to act as if you are something that you are not. Regardless of where you are, what you in, or how you feel, let him know about it. And ask him to shift your perspective, and he will do just that. Pick up a journal. Write how you feel. Express yourself daily. Pick up a Bible so that you can become well acclimated with God's principles, so that you know what to stand on. And you also will be well aware of deception around you, because you know his word and how he operates for yourself, because you've done your own research. So regardless of where you go, even if it's a church, if something's not right in that space, you'll be able to stand up against it and also educate others, because you know the truth. I highly suggest, if you are new to the Bible, to pick up the NLT version or the ESV version. It's an easier translation. Or if you want to jump right in and you don't need the easier translation, go ahead and grab you the KJV. Now, it is important within this journey that you pick up the KJV version as well, because words can be changed and things can be taken out depending upon the translation, which is why you must research and study and compare and sit in solitude to ask questions, so that deep revelation can come past what you are reading via the Holy Spirit. The more that you study, the more that you learn, the more that you'll grow. Take your time, give yourself grace, be patient, and be real with yourself. God requires truth for this process, so do not pretend. Let him know how you feel, and embrace solitude daily. It's a requirement. As always, I'm proud of you. This is beautiful and a major step in you evolving. Remember to be kind to yourself. You're unlearning a lot. And there's a lot of information out here, so make sure you are using your discernment. Trust yourself. Doubt should never be benefited. Solitude. Ask God about it, whatever it is. and wait patiently. And from there, have conversations with people that you trust. Confirmation will come and you will gain more awareness. Well, don't let it be your first go to. Sit with God first, journal about it, and take your time to process so that you're not moving sporadically. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to leave them in the comment section or send me an email, which will be in the description box below. As always, and again, I wish you well and pray that you are leaving here way better than you came. And go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on the post notification bell so that you can be notified each time that I post. And follow me on the rest of the social media platforms that will be listed below so that you can stay in touch and in tune with the movement.